everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney, this is the Brittney Reacts Show, and on this show we talk all things entertainment news, movie news. I've been updating you guys a lot on the strikes, and boy do we have a very interesting story about the strikes today regarding Drew Barrymore. We're definitely going to get into that. Also, we have the new Aquaman trailer, so we're going to, well, not the trailer, we have a teaser to the trailer to react to, but there's so much in just the teaser that we could talk about that. And a few other fun things. So we have a good stream today. How are you guys doing? Hi, Josh Loves Movies. Hi, Mikey. Hi, Elena, or Elena. Hi, Munchie the Gnome. Hi, Glitchmation. Hi, Stephanie Williams. Hi, Jordan Davis. Hi, Shelly Lee. Hi, Words. Hi, The Free Rocket Man. Hi, David Cohn. Hi, Mikey. So hi, everyone who's here, and thank you to everyone who shows up each and every day. All right. So, we're going to just get straight to the first topic, which is, as always on Mondays, box office news. Now, we don't have a lot to talk about here. I just like to update you on the most interesting stories about box office for the week. And I thought this was pretty interesting because Oppenheimer is only $10 million away from grossing $900 million. $900 million. I can't believe this movie's gonna make 900 something million, let alone have a chance at making $1 billion. Like, this is crazy to me. Genuinely insane. Anyone expect this? No? Yes? Hi, Walter. Hi, Jesse. Mikey hopes it makes $1 billion. I don't know if it will. I think it's too far away, but the fact that it's gonna get to, like, maybe 950 is, like, good enough. I feel like they could call that essentially a $1 billion movie. Like, it's almost there. It is good for Oppenheimer and Tanya. Jaden is crazy. I think, honestly, my predictions for this movie before it came out was more like 500 million. Like, literally half, about half of what it's actually going to make. So, this doubled my predictions. Honestly, I think the Barbenheimer effect really helped it. So, if Barbie and Oppenheimer had not opened on the same day, I do not think this movie would be making almost $1 billion. I think it still could have done well because people really liked it, but it would not have done $1 billion well. Hands down. Barbie really helped this. Oh, Millions says Bottoms deserved that 900 million. Yeah, Bottoms only made like, I think I saw it only made like a few $1 million, so it's not doing like crazy business, but I guess it's doing good for a small film. The cover girl says, didn't care for Oppenheimer, but this is very good for original movies. Yeah, it is really good. I think that's why you're starting to see a lot of marketing for the Killers of the Flower Moon movie coming out later this year, because maybe they're like, hey, if people actually like to see original stuff, we have a new adult original movie coming out, so we'll see how that does. Moving on, The Nun actually opened pretty decently, 32.6 million. It's less than what the last one opened to, but I think it's alright. Horror is pretty cheap to make, so I'm sure they're gonna make their money back. Oh, Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Oh good, I was worried it would be a bomb. Oh, you thought Oppenheimer was gonna be a bomb. You're just making a joke. That's funny. For a second, I really thought you were serious, and then I realized, oh, thank you, Angel Ferrer, for the super chat. So, it seems like not a lot of people have seen, this movie. Although, am I scaring people with this image? This image is pretty creepy. Sorry if I'm scaring people in the chat. Jessica H. saw The Nun. Okay. Oh, it was just okay. That's not good. I mean, to be honest with you, just okay is a lot better than what the first one was, which was terrible. So if it's just okay, that's an improvement. Because like I said, I saw the first one, and that's why I did not see the second one, because it was really bad. Stephanie Williams says, I am not big on horror. Am I the only one? No, I've never been big on horror, but horror has a really big audience that seems to just show up to all these movies. I've never been into it, but I can't deny that they're very popular. The cover girl says, haven't seen it, but my friends were disappointed with it. Oh, I'm sorry they were disappointed. What were they disappointed about? Okay, Kitty Cat is also not a fan of horror. Elena says, I think it will just have a lot of jump scares. Oh, is that what you think about horror movies? Not all horror movies rely on jump scares, but I guess for me, what I just can't get into is that I feel like a lot of them are like, you have to kind of be into the B movie vibe, because a lot of horror movies have that B movie vibe. And I'm just not sure if I'm into that kind of stuff. Alright, moving on to the next topic. We're just gonna go to entertainment news now. And we have a little bit of an update on Deadpool. Well, not a huge update, but the director, Sean Levy, did have some stuff to say about it. So, according to him, Deadpool 3 was actually about halfway through filming before they had to shut everything down. I did not realize that they were that far into production. Halfway is pretty significant. That's kind of concerning for them, because the longer a movie has to just kind of sit on the shelf, the more it's actually going to cost the studios because of insurance, I believe. So this means that the budget for this film is probably going to go through the roof, just like it did for all the COVID movies. This movie's going to have to make a lot of money in order to make money. And as I've been saying, I don't think this movie is yet a guaranteed $1 billion film. I think it could come close, like Oppenheimer. I think like it could play like Oppenheimer, but I'm not like I'm not convinced yet. I think the reason I'm not convinced is because the more I'm hearing about this film, the more it sounds just like another fan servicey, fan baity kind of movie, like Marvel's version of The Flash. And people didn't like The Flash because it relied too much on nostalgia bait and people coming back for cameos, or sometimes they didn't even come back. They just had, their CGI corpse come back. It sounds like Deadpool 3 is going to do a lot of what The Flash did, and I just don't see normies, people who aren't super into comic book stuff. I'm not sure if they're going to be as excited about, like, some of these deep cut meta jokes that I think Ryan Reynolds thinks people are going to be into. I don't know. I'm just a little worried this movie's going to play too hard to the Twitter fandom crowd, and not enough to like a general public crowd, which is what it needs to really make $1 billion. So that's why I'm a little iffy on this film. We'll see. Anyone else agree with me or no? The Free Rocket Man says that's exactly what this movie will be, disguised as some narrative that will push the MCU forwards. Yeah, they're really pushing this to be like basically Marvel's savior, because they kind of need it. And to be fair, if any future Marvel movie could save the MCU, it would be this one. I'm not saying it won't. It still might. But I think there is also a possibility this could have the opposite effect. And it could also ruin it forever. So yeah, the stakes are high. The stakes are very high. Evil Connor says, allegedly Ryan Reynolds wanted to explore Deadpool's bisexual side in this film, but the other producers didn't want it. I did not know that, Evil Connor. Oh, that's interesting. That sounds like something Ryan Reynolds would want to do, so I actually believe that, and I actually believe that Disney would stop them, because that sounds like something Disney would do. So yeah, that sucks, because I would have liked to see that. I mean, they kind of sort of teased it in the first movie, so I don't know why. Bob Iger said a while ago that he was okay with Deadpool staying hard R, and speaking of that, he did get into that a bit. Sean Levy, the director, said, Deadpool 3 is raw, audacious, very much R-rated. We went to great lengths not to shoot on sound stages with digital environments. The internet has proven that. So there's a lot to unpack in this statement. First of all, they are confirming that they are keeping the R-rated edginess of it, which is going to be interesting, because technically this is still a Disney movie now. So this will probably be the most hardest of our Disney movies ever made. Or will it? Well, who knows? Maybe they'll tame things down. Who knows? But also the fact that they're emphasizing so much that they're using real sets and real props. I think that is part of the whole general conversation that's happening now, where people are getting tired of over-relying on CGI and there being just too much digital everything. So I think it's interesting that they're already trying to market this movie on, yeah, we didn't use just digital sound stages. We went to real places. We used real environments. Like, I think we're kind of seeing it, like the tide change against CGI a bit, which is interesting. But overall, yeah, I'm a little nervous about this film. I think there's some things I'm excited about. I'm excited that they are at least keeping it R-rated. How R will Disney allow it to be? We'll see. But they're at least going to go for it. And then I do like they're trying to shoot in real places. So those are the positives. But then, again, every time we hear about this film, it's always like, oh, there's going to be this meta gag in it, this joke in it, this inside gag. Like there was, I don't have a slide for it here, but there was an image that was shown like when they were still in the middle of production. So this might be a bit of a spoiler, not a huge one, but I'm spoiling like a minor joke that's in the movie. So if you care about that, maybe just mute the video a little bit, or just, it's a really tiny thing. But they showed the Fox logo buried in the sand, and it's supposed to symbolize, you know, Disney buying Fox and basically killing Fox, which is exactly what they did. And if you didn't know, Deadpool used to be part of Fox, which is why Disney now owns it. So they're making a lot of really meta jokes about mergers and company acquisitions, and like you have to be really in the know and care about that to like get these jokes. So I'm just like, who is the audience for this? Is it just the very online nerd crowd that's into this? Is that the audience? Because I think that's a little too niche. So that's why I'm a little nervous about the film. Oh, hi Laura, I'm glad you could catch it. Michael says Disney owns Miramax. That's Pulp Fiction. I know, Disney owns Pulp Fiction now. That's crazy. They own so many crazy things now that's like, wow, that's Disney? Okay. Evil Connor says, yeah, we are behind on bi representation. Josh Loves Movie says, Deadpool 3 set photos were very practical. Yeah, the set photos were all very practical. I love that they're actually wearing the suits, as you can see in this picture. They're not just wearing CGI digital suits like all the superheroes have been. So far, so good. Those are the positives that I'm seeing so far. I don't think it's all doom and gloom yet. I'm just saying I see potential doom on the horizon. Maybe. I need to see more from the marketing. Honestly, what will sell me on this film completely being a hit is if the trailer is really good. If I like the trailer, then I'm gonna say, oh yeah, this is totally gonna be $1 billion. But until I see that, I'm nervous. Okay, Michael says, God, I hope not. Deadpool should do what X-Men Days of Future Past did and use both casts but make it respectful. I loved X-Men Days of Future Past. That's a good movie. I actually remember when it came out, I went through a little phase where I just watched it like over and over again because I loved it so much. Jordan Davis says, no, I mean Spider-Man No Way Home. What are you talking about? Oh, I think you guys are having a different conversation. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this up because I'm very curious, extremely curious to see how this movie performs. I think it could either go extremely well for Marvel, like could potentially save them, or it could sink their fate even further. So we'll see. It won't come out for a while because they're only halfway through and the strikes aren't ending until next year. So I wouldn't expect this movie until probably 2025. So we'll see. Moving on to the next topic. Still speaking of Marvel, since Dune 2 just left November, Dune 2 was originally going to have the IMAX screens for, I think, like 6 weeks or something. But since Dune left, that means all the movies that were going to come out around that time are going to get IMAX screens instead. So now The Marvels is going to be on IMAX, Killers of the Flower Moon is going to be on IMAX, The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is going to be on IMAX. I know a number of you are excited for The Hunger Games. So does this excite you? Does this make you happy? Are you going to see any of these on IMAX? Or are you going to see none of them? Anyone care about any of these, or are you thinking this is going to be a very slow second half of the year for movies? Because I'm kind of curious to see how some of these movies do. I'm not entirely convinced The Marvels is going to be a hit. I think that could be either a mild hit, so basically a tepid surprise hit, because I don't think a lot of people are expecting this to do well. But I think it still could, maybe. So maybe like a mild hit, or it could just be a total flop, dead on arrival. I have no idea. Killers of the Flower Moon has a chance of doing well. It has Leonardo DiCaprio. Oppenheimer did well, so there's a chance. And then the Hunger Games movie, I don't know. As I've said repeatedly, I just don't know how. Are people going to be interested in a Hunger Games movie without Jennifer Lawrence? I don't know. And then you have the whole controversy around Rachel Zegler. I don't know if she's going to keep people away from the movie. So that one's also a coin toss for me. Stephanie says, I'm excited for the Hunger Games. Okay. I know a number of you are. I think that out of all of these, I honestly think the Hunger Games probably has the biggest chance of being a surprise big hit. I could really see that. Because I remember back in the day, like 10 years ago, when like the original Hunger Games movies were coming out, and the hype around those movies were huge. Like, people were really into this franchise once upon a time. So I don't know if this movie can reignite that hype, but if it could, that would be really impressive, and it could get really big. Laura says, I would have preferred Dune. Me too. I preferred Dune over all of these movies. I miss Dune. Oh, I'm so mad we're gonna have to wait even longer. Embassy Network says, I have a feeling that the Marvels will underperform, as Disney would say. Yeah, I think the Marvels could be really, really bad. I think the Marvels, there's potential that the Marvels could do as well as Quantumania. I think that is the bottom. I think that's the bottom. I think it could go that low. It could go higher. It could do much better. But it could also do really badly. Okay, Josh is excited for the Hunger Games and the Marvels. Okay. Michael says, I loved Logan. The Dune book is good. I'm disappointed that Dune Part 2 is getting delayed. May the Marvels chip and shatter. Oh my gosh, not chip and shatter. Also, what an interesting way to say, like, you're done with the Marvels. Chip and shatter. Yes, let it chip and shatter. I'm sorry. I love how you said that. Yeah, we'll see how the Marvels does. I think there's so much negativity online. I wouldn't be surprised if it was dead on arrival, but also people thought the first one was going to be a flop, and that ended up being $1 billion hit, so we don't really know. Yeah, we don't know. Alright, moving on. Oh yeah, so last week, remember when I told you guys that Miyazaki was going to release his final movie this year, and I was really excited to see it? I'm still excited to see it. I'm going to watch it. But apparently he lied again. And it's not going to be his last movie. And apparently he has already come back to the office with new ideas for another film. So, I mean, I like him. I think he keeps saying he's going to retire and then he doesn't. But I'm still excited to see his film, The Boy and the Heron, later this year. Anyone curious in this film? I know probably no one's surprised by this, but he'll probably never retire, honestly. It would be a sad day when he does. Sexy Rhino says, I saw many people considering not watching Hunger Games because of Rachel. Yeah, I can see that. Honestly, that's why I think the Hunger Games movie is a coin toss. She could honestly, genuinely turn a lot of people away. That's really unfortunate for her career because she was just getting started. Word says Rachel's a big downgrade from J-Law. You don't know. You haven't seen her in the performance, to be fair. The Embassy Network says, sadly, I'm a fan of Kamala Khan and Monica from their respective shows and wanted to see their characters grow in the MCU, but I feel this movie won't be it. Are you talking about the Marvels? Yeah. I don't know. I just think that it was a really weird choice to try to to do this weird team-up movie by requiring people to have watched 2, actually technically 3 with Secret Wars separate Disney Plus shows. I just think that was maybe a mistake. But I'm glad you guys, talking about Miyazaki now, I'm glad you guys are happy about Miyazaki sticking around. Maybe, hopefully, he lives long enough for one more film. I don't know. I could watch his movies all day. Wait, what do you want to do a poll for? Wait, Miyazaki or the Marvels? John Doe Jane Doe says it's not about Rachel's talent. She's just an insufferable person. I think, okay, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Those were just statements she made in, like, was it like 2 interviews? Maybe 3? And then just now those single clips have just been, like, taken and run with. You know, I don't think she's a bad person. I think maybe she's very young and very idealistic and probably needs to grow out of a certain mindset. But we shouldn't, like, I don't know. I don't think she should, like, have her career already be done. We should give people a lot more grace, is what I'm saying. Evil Connor says, OMG lives long enough. What are you talking about? Oh, OMG lives long enough, yeah. I mean, we want him to live a long life, right? Okay. What do you want a poll about? You guys gotta specify. Evil Connor says, I feel like J-Law and Rachel are in the same different, slightly goofy, annoying girls club. You're right, since you guys really want to talk about this. You're very right, though. They have a lot of similarities. J-Law was also known for kind of having that sarcastic personality. She would be known to go viral for, like, saying crazy stuff in her interviews and doing, like, weird gaffes and stuff. And now we have Rachel Zegler essentially taking her spot and doing the same thing, but is not getting the same positive reception. So that's interesting. Crystal Clark says, yeah, her responses could be better thought out. That's very true. I think she needs more media training, honestly. Her team, if she has a team, I'm sure she does, should be, like, you know, coaching her on how to, you know, respond better to these kinds of questions. I think, honestly, with more media training, she'll probably be fine. Angel Barrera says, can you make a poll on whether we should do a poll? No. No, Crystal Clark also wants to make a poll about a poll. No. You guys are funny. I know, Shelly, everyone likes polls. You guys just like typing the word poll? Alright. Anyway, moving on. So, David Zaslav, who's the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, he just says stuff. Every now and then there's a headline about him, and it's like, what is he saying now? Well, anyway, now he's saying that he thinks that DC, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter have been underused. He says, we haven't done anything with Harry Potter for more than a decade, which is not true, and we haven't done anything with Lord of the Rings. Okay, firstly, this worries me. He's already said yes to doing the Harry Potter show on Max. So what more Harry Potter does he want to do? I really do not want to see Harry Potter get MCU-ified, where you start seeing, like, multiple spin-offs and multiple movies and episodes, and I don't want that. I don't think that's the kind of brand for that. I'm actually kind of excited for the show, I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of the few people that, after my initial shock, I'm kind of starting to get a little bit excited for the Max show. Just because I have read all the books, and the movies did leave out a lot. Like, you guys are going to be surprised. Some of these seasons, if they actually do all of the books, you're going to be surprised by how much stuff how much new stuff you're going to see, because they left out a lot from the books. But anyway, this concerns me that they're about to, like, double down and MCU-ify all of this stuff. Amazon just did a Lord of the Rings series that put me to sleep. I tried to watch that show because everyone online was talking about it, but it was so boring. It was so boring. Oh my god, I've never seen, like, watching paint dry would have been more entertaining than watching that Lord of the Rings show. Oh man, that was like a lullaby. Yeah, that was not good. And then, DC's pretty hit and miss, mostly miss. Like they just put out The Flash, so what is he talking about? They're underused. How in the world is DC underused? That doesn't make sense to me. And we're getting another DC movie with Aquaman in December, so again, that confuses me. So this statement is alarming. That's how I would put it. It's alarming. And if you're a fan of any one of these properties, you should be concerned because they have plans and they're probably not good. Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat, says, wow, even forgot about Fantastic Beasts and Rings of Power. Well, Rings of Power, to be fair, was not Warner Brothers, that was Amazon. But yeah, Fantastic Beasts, you're exactly right. That's why I said this whole statement that we haven't done anything with Harry Potter for more than a decade isn't even accurate, because they had at least they had 3 movies. Yeah, they had 3 movies with Fantastic Beasts. And the second one broke my heart because it was so bad. And I even kind of liked the first one. But the second one was literally like nails on a chalkboard. Like, what is going on here? I thought J.K. Rowling knew how to write. The second one was not good. So I didn't even see the third one because I thought the second one was so bad. And I didn't want it to, like, further ruin my perception of the franchise. So yeah, I don't understand. There's been a lot Harry Potter. In fact, there's even been a Harry Potter stage show, The Cursed Child, in the past 10 years. So there's been a lot new Harry Potter. And a game, the video game, Hogwarts Legacy. So that's just, like, a false statement. I don't know what he's talking about. I guess he means, like, with Hogwarts and the original characters, but I don't know. Anyway, Bree G says, I didn't mind Rings of Power, but the acting style was more Shakespearean, so understanding the sleep. Was it Shakespearean? I would not call it Shakespearean, Bree. Respectfully, I would have to disagree. I would call it... to me, some of the acting was giving CW. And I feel like that's an insult to the CW. I did not care for that show. Fake Name says, Rings of Power was good, lol, FOD, you were right about Lord of the Rings stands. Okay, if you like Lord of the Rings, if you like the Rings of Power, that's fine, you are more than, you can like it all day long, that's fine. But, that doesn't take away from the fact that the show generally was not well received, it's gotten, like, no awards. And I think there was a report that came out that only, like, a third of the people that started the show actually finished it because, like, 70% of the people who started it thought it was too boring to finish. So, you can like it all day long, it's fine. But I think the general consensus around that show is that it was not good. Not good at all. Crystal Clark says, Brittney, that's not enough of Harry Potter. We need you to join the houses and help the gang. No, that's not what I do not want this. I do not want Harry Potter to become like the MCU where it's like every 6 weeks you got something new. I do not want that. That sounds horrible. That sounds like the death of a really beloved franchise. That would suck. Yeah, Natanya, CW has the craziest shows. Free Rocket Man says, what's your house? I'm a Ravenclaw. Laura B, you agree with me, thank you. Yes, Rings of Power was crap. Okay, that was not a good show. Fake Name says, apparently Warner Brothers are planning to never make a deal with the unions. What? And are telling shareholders they will produce movies and TV solely using freelancers from now on. Good luck. Is this breaking news, Fake Name? I didn't see this. Is this true? That Warner Brothers is planning to never make a deal with the unions? That can't be true. That cannot be true. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look that up later, because that cannot be true. Yeah. The Couch Potato says, the free Harry Potter Magic Awakening mobile game is really good. Harry Potter has a lot of really good games, actually. Joe says, if you're 12 years old, just don't speak on Lord of the Rings. Just go do your homework. Josh is a Gryffindor. You know what? I felt like you were a Gryffindor. I just had a feeling you were. Alright, so I just had to bring this up because I'm very concerned, deeply concerned about what he means by this statement. This, in my mind, only means bad things for all 3 properties. So, Anyway, moving on. So Disney is doing something interesting. They're actually doing something for their 100th anniversary. It seems like for a second they almost forgot about it because they got a lot going on at the moment, but they're actually doing something for it. And what they're doing is they're bringing back 40 plus original voice actors from across the years with new animation. So they're bringing back a lot of old characters with their original voice actors. And they're gonna do it for this new film that follows Mickey gathering Disney characters from the past 100 years for a group photo. And this is still from it, apparently. So you see Genie, which is interesting because obviously you can't get the original voice actor for Genie. And you have Olaf. But, so this is kind of interesting. I don't know. Are you guys interested in this at all? I'm thinking I might watch this. Them bringing back all their most iconic characters from the past 100 years and putting it into the same film kind of intrigues me as a Disney fan. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds interesting to me. Anyone curious? Fod Fareed says, there were these people in my 6th grade class last year and they admitted to reading The Hobbit to look smart, but they complained that it was too long. Aren't you like 12, Fod? Why? I mean, no, that's not true. I started reading Harry Potter when I was very young. I started reading Harry Potter when I was in the 2nd grade. I was about to say, that's really young to read The Hobbit, but no, I started reading Harry Potter when I was younger than that. But anyway, anyone interested in this? Who are they getting to do Robin Williams, by the way? Because they keep saying the original voice actors, like, and then they show a picture of the Genie. So that confuses me and also worries me about AI. Are they saying they're going to use like an AI replica of Robin Williams for Genie? Because I feel like if they do that, Disney, there will be hell to pay. There's no mention of AI anything, but I mean, how else are they planning to get the original voice actor for Genie? Or any of the other characters where the voice actor might have died. So I'm a little concerned that they might use AI for this, not gonna lie. Angel Barrera, thank you so much for the super chat. Haven't they already relived the past 100 years? I know. With all of these reboots and remakes, I feel like they have already redone all these characters, you're right. But I guess that the appeal here is that they're all gonna be in one film, and that Mickey's gonna lead the way. Will Smith, stay away. Oh no! They wouldn't get Will Smith for this, no. No, they couldn't. They're probably gonna, I hope what they do is that they just get someone who sounds like Genie. I just think it's very, very odd that this is the picture that was shared. Like, what? Why would you put this and then say original voice actors? You know what I mean? That's what's getting me a little nervous. Alright, anyway, I think this could be interesting. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going to tell you guys what I think when I do. Moving on. So The Little Mermaid just went on Disney Plus and apparently has broken all sorts of records. So within just the first 5 days of the movie being on the platform, it has already gotten 16 million views, which is the most viewed movie premiere ever on Disney Plus. So this is pretty good for the movie. I know the movie didn't do as well as like a lot of the other Disney remake adaptations, especially from the Renaissance, and that sucks. But it actually kind of rallied in theaters a bit like how Elemental rallied in theaters. So it kind of did okay in theaters. I think it got to around 500 million. I still don't think it made money, or if it did, it probably just barely broke even. But I'm at least happy that it's a big hit on Disney Plus. 16 million views is pretty significant. Anyone actually watched the movie on Disney Plus yet? I haven't. Jax enjoyed The Little Mermaid. Okay. Oh, Hidden Name says you don't believe it. Interesting. Evil Connor says this was the best remake. I like the Aladdin remake more. I still think Aladdin's my favorite, but this one's not bad. Evil Connor says, I saw it 4 times in theaters. Oh, 4 times! I saw it twice. 4 times, that's a lot. Josh is very happy about it. Sexy Rhino says, can we really trust the numbers? That's true. That's very true. Because we don't really have anything to go on with these numbers other than what the studios tell us. So we're just gonna go on their word that this was a really big hit because we don't really have any other way to verify it other than when we could see, I guess, Nielsen numbers. But I don't know. I feel like all these numbers are very fake. Who knows? Who knows? They say this is good. I guess we'll go with it. Oh, Fodfree says it lost $50 million according to Matt Pat. Yeah, I could see that. I knew it was either gonna be either lost a little bit of money or it just barely broke even, so not surprised. There still are Nielsen ratings couch potato for streaming, but it comes out like weeks later, and I still feel like those numbers are a bit BS. So, the thing is, we don't really know how well any of this is doing, which is one of the things people are striking about, because we want more, like, we want people to be more apparent about how well this stuff is actually doing, so we know, like, what's a hit, what's not, because no one really knows. All we know is what they tell us, and that's kind of sketchy. Now we're getting to the Aquaman trailer. Now again, this isn't even the official trailer. This is a 30 seconds teaser for the full trailer. This is a 30-second trailer for a trailer. And there's enough in it that we can actually talk about it. And I think this is crazy. I don't understand why they're doing this trailer for trailer stuff, but here we are. We're gonna do this. Okay. So, anyone actually excited for this movie? Here's the first shot. You can see Aquaman here. He looks great. To be honest, I told you guys I was not a huge fan of the first one, even though I should have probably been more... I probably should have liked it more than I did because I actually got to go to the premiere, but even that didn't affect my enjoyment of the movie. I thought it was quite bad, to be honest. But how many people actually like the first Aquaman? Who's going to see the second one? I think this movie has a really big chance of not doing well, like at all. All of the DC movies have been flopping. None of the recent DC movies have been received well. I think the only thing that could save this movie is, like, if China likes it, because they like the first one. Because I can see this movie making a lot more abroad than it does here domestically. I just don't see anyone, like, here in America being all that excited about Aquaman anymore. Brigi is not excited for Aquaman. Yeah. I know, Angel Barrera. Why are they doing trailers for trailers? It's crazy. Yes, Amber Heard is in the movie, so that is a whole nother wrinkle that's unfortunately part of this movie. And her role apparently has been, like, whittled down substantially, so she's not even, like, a big part of the film like she was in the first one, because they knew her mere presence was going to be controversial. So hopefully I don't think that's gonna, like, deter people away, like, that alone, but who knows? Really, who knows? Laura B says, not interested in Aquaman 2. The first one wasn't that good. Yeah, I didn't think the first one. Everyone says the first one is so good. And I was like, did we see the same movie? What was good other than, like, the visual effects and the visuals? The visuals were nice. Like, I liked how Atlantis looked. I just thought the writing was god-awful and even some of the acting was terrible. I did not like that movie. Cruella was also a really good remake. I feel like Cruella and Aladdin are really the only two that I, like, love out of the remakes. Nick thinks Amber Heard will ruin the movie. I don't think it'll just be Amber Heard that makes this film flop. It'll be DC's reputation. It'll be the fact that maybe there are more people like me who just didn't like the first one. Or I think it's also the fact that this is kind of a lame duck movie. People who do pay attention to comic book movies knows that this is the last of the DCEU era, so it's not even going to be continued, that there's no future for Aquaman, so that kind of puts a damper on the film. There's a lot of reasons why I think this movie is probably not going to do very well. And the crazy thing is, the first one made $1 billion. The first one did really, really well. It made $1 billion. I don't think this movie's gonna come close to that, unfortunately. Okay, you guys really want a poll. Let's do one poll for this. So, who's interested in Aquaman 2? Alright. Who is seeing... oh, no. Aquaman 2. Okay, I'm gonna say me... not interested. What is this movie? Because some people, even like movies I think everyone would have heard of, even some of you guys are like, what is this? So a third option for what is this? Alright. Starting the poll. Yeah, DC is in a very bad position. Fake Name says will not be seeing any Warner Brothers products because they're going to try to make their whole production apparatus out of scabs. Fake Name, is this true? Did this just break? Is Warner Brothers really gonna try to do their entire operation full of scabs? If that's true, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, Mickey is split about this. Okay. I'll see it because I'm gonna review it for you guys, but if I didn't have to review it, I probably would have waited till streaming. JMB says, apparently they did a screening which was terrible. Had to reshoot most of the movie. I did hear that like reshoots did very poorly. And if they're saying that about like the pre-screenings, then that the movie has to be pretty bad. So we'll see. If I thought the first one was already awful, I don't understand how this movie could be even worse unless it's like Jurassic World Dominion bad. But I don't know. We'll see. Chris says, what's a scab? A scab is a person who breaks the picket line. So we're going to talk about a scab soon when we talk about... In fact, let's actually go straight to it. Thank you for the perfect segue. So let's go to strike news. Let's talk about... Oh, wait. I forgot. We're not even done through this trailer. Never mind. You got me all excited. I forgot. We're not done talking about Aquaman. Almost. We're going to get to the scab stuff in a second. But yes, going back to Aquaman, a scab is basically someone that breaks a picket line during a strike, essentially. Well, we'll get to why we're talking about that later. Going to the poll, though. I almost forgot we're talking about Aquaman. Why can't I get to the poll? Where is it? Okay. So 73% of you are not interested. Okay. 73% is pretty significant. That's literally like 3/4 of you. Oh god. 23% are interested. Oh, that's okay. That's like almost a quarter. 4% of you don't even know what this is. I always knew there's someone. Thank you for being honest. Because there's always someone that doesn't know what movie I'm talking about. So, there we go. But I think the fact that at least most of you have heard of it is a good sign. Not a good sign that those that have heard of it aren't interested, though. Yeah, I think this movie's pretty much going to be dead on arrival. I'm guaranteeing it. Alright, ending the poll. Just want to get through the rest of this trailer here so we can get to the Drew Barrymore conversation. There's only like a few like still shots and things that I want to go over. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Sorry. Going to strike news. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. This has been trending pretty much all day on Twitter because as you can imagine, people are pissed on Twitter. Because they're pissed about everything. But I think this is pretty, like, justifiable anger. Or maybe is it? I don't know. I'm actually a little bit on the fence. We are going to do a poll about this because I'm curious to see what you guys think. Sorry, I wanted to get to the rest of the Aquaman trailer, but trying to click on it now. I'm having, unfortunately, some issues on my end. Is the stream good for you? Is there any lag on your end? Because there's lag on my end. Angel Barrera says Aquaman isn't dead on arrival, it's lost at sea. God. That's very poetic how you put it, but yeah, you're right. It's not looking well. Not looking good at all. Alright. So everything good on your end? Okay. Sorry. You guys are saying Drew Barrymore staring into your soul. Okay. So it's fine. Okay. Sorry about that. We will go back to the Aquaman thing in a second. I think it was starting to make my stream lag, and I don't want it to have a tech issue. So if you really want to look at the rest of the trailer, I'll go back to it in a second. But since we're on the Drew Barrymore thing, let's just talk about this. So, Drew Barrymore has got herself into a very big scandal. Huge scandal. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it won't turn into anything, but at least right now she's got everyone upset about her. Because she wants to bring her talk show, her daytime show, the Drew Barrymore Show, back and live on air, even though the strike is currently still going. And this obviously has a lot of people upset, because they're calling her a SCAB, which is a person that breaks the picket line. Because no other talk show is currently airing. They're all down because of the strike. So she would be the first one to come back up and do this. And a lot of people are saying there is no way she could have this show without writers. So she would essentially need to hire scabs to write for her. She's saying she's not going to use writers. I guess she's thinking she's going to improv everything. But these kind of shows need writers. Like, who's going to write her monologue? And she's just going to improv off the top of the show? That's what a lot of people are thinking. Probably not. So, this is pretty bad. Wait, hold on. Jordan says that's not true. The View is airing. Oh, that's true. That's right. I forgot about The View. That's a great point then, because The View is also airing. So that's kind of her defense, though. Drew Barrymore has already said that she stands firm in her decision, that she's not backing down from this, and that she thinks that this is fair for her to do, because her show is just a news show. And so she can just essentially chit-chat with people, like have a casual conversation. It doesn't need to be scripted or anything. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about this. Now, according to, hold on, I have another slide. Why won't you go? Anyway, according to a new article that just came up, the Writers Guild of America is really, really upset with Drew Barrymore. They think that she's essentially scabbing, like the writers are furious. But SAG is defending her, saying that as long as she doesn't have any writers and she doesn't promote any studio content, that she's fine to do this. So she's getting split support even from the union, so that pretty much shows you how split people are on this entire thing. Some people are thinking, okay, if she's just gonna be on there, I guess kind of like a typical reality show where it's all just kind of improv on the moment, you don't really need to script a lot of stuff, then maybe it's fine. And there's other people that's like, there's no way she can do this without writing anything. She's using scabs. What do you guys think about this? Josh Loves Movie says, daytime news shows seem to be exception to the strike guidelines. And that's the thing. If you have The View airing, I can understand why Drew Barrymore is sitting there thinking, well, if The View can be on, why can't my show be on if we're kind of doing the same thing? And then you also have to think about what people are doing on YouTube. If you watch any amount of YouTube videos, there's a lot of people that talk about movies and like do the entertainment, discussion, have their own shows online that talk about movies, and they're able to do it. And yes, Drew Barrymore is not just some influencer, but if people are able to get around the rules by not having, like, written work and not talking about struck content, and even other daytime shows are doing it, I'm pretty sure Drew Barrymore is probably like, well, I can do that. So, on one hand, I kind of understand her thinking on this. But on the other hand, I understand why the writers are so pissed, because this kind of underhands their entire... does it underhand their entire point? I guess in their perspective, they're thinking that this just undermines the entire reason that they're striking, that they're thinking that there's no way she could do the show without writers, and that you can't do a show like this without writers, and that she's undermining the writers. I don't know if that's true. What do you guys think? Like I said, I'm a little divided on this. LP Harris says, isn't she a writer herself? I thought she did work on the Charlie's Angel movie she was in. I was wondering that myself. Isn't she part of the WGA? So even if she, because when Deadpool 3 went into production, Ryan Reynolds admitted that he couldn't even improv on the movie because he's part of the WGA, and that even if he improv'd, that would technically be writing because he himself is part of the union. So even if she is on air kind of just improving what she's talking about, isn't that because she's a writer still technically written work? I think this is a very, very thin line. I think it's a thin line, to be honest. Travis, I know. Well, they postponed it. I don't know why I didn't talk about the Velma thing. I'll talk about that in a second. Adlad says, people gotta work, she has a crew that needs to work. Yes, I'm sure if she is doing this for her crew, which maybe she is, I understand that. Again, that's why I'm not entirely, upset with her like a lot of people on Twitter are, they're calling her all sorts of things. I understand there are reasons why she's doing it, but at the same time, I don't think that it's possible to do the show. I'm not sure it is possible to do the show without some sort of writing, which would be scabbing. So I don't know. She's gonna have to really walk a tightrope being on the show. I have no idea. She's probably gonna have to rearrange the show so it's a lot less scripted. I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't know. MM says, who is even watching the Drew Barrymore show? Well, it's apparently popular enough that she's going to take over Ellen DeGeneres' wait, no, that was Kelly Clarkson. Wait, who's taking over Ellen DeGeneres' spot? Was it Kelly Clarkson shows or Drew Barrymore's? I think it was Kelly Clarkson. It's not Drew Barrymore, right? Never mind then. But yeah, who is watching this show? That's a good point. All I see about this show is what trends on Twitter or on TikTok or whatever, because she has very passionate in-face interviews with her guests that are very strange to watch. But yeah. Oh, it is Kelly that's doing it. Okay. I'm actually really happy that it's Kelly. I like Kelly a lot. Interesting. MM says this is podcast everyone is doing one, might as well have a talk show. So she's gonna do it more like a podcast type thing? I don't know. I'm very, very curious to see. I think, honestly, we won't really know if we should consider this to be scabbing until we see what she does with it. If we see the show and it's obviously scripted, then we know there's, some red flags here. But if she changes it significantly enough to where it's more like The View, where it's more just a casual conversation where you don't need to script anything, then I think she can make that work. Again, I think it's going to have to depend on what she does with the show, and where the line is on the writing. I think that's kind of where I'm on it. Just because I understand why she's doing this, but I just hope that she doesn't actually hire people to write things. Kelly Clarkson and Jennifer Hudson took over the Ellen studio. I didn't know about Jennifer Hudson. Interesting. Donna says the strike needs to end soon. I know. I understand. Trust me, I understand. I just don't think it's ending until January at the earliest. Because it seems like the studios and creatives just do not want to work with each other. In fact, here's how I think the strike is going to end. The way I see it, I think the companies, the studios, are actually going to start peeling away first. Because there was already an article a little while ago that admitted that some of the companies, some of the studios, don't actually are okay with agreeing to a number of what the creatives are asking for, and don't like aren't willing to drag on this strike for months just to say no. Like, there are some studios that are willing to negotiate, but there are some studios that aren't. So the AMPTP is not on a unified front at the moment. And I think that's why I think the writers and actors are in an advantageous position at the moment, because they're already fracturing the AMPTP. So what I can see happening is, say by January, the strike has not been resolved. I could see certain studios starting to make deals with the writers and actors separately from the other studios. Like, maybe if Paramount is one of the ones that is willing to make a deal, they'll make a deal, but like Netflix and Disney and Warner Brothers still haven't. I can see that sort of thing happening. Word says, is it wrong that I want Hollywood to burn? I actually don't think it's wrong to want it to burn. I don't know if burn's the word I'd use for it. It's more like I want the old system of how Hollywood was running to kind of end so we can start a new path forward for Hollywood. I think it needs a reset. That's how I would say. I wouldn't say we need to burn Hollywood, but Hollywood definitely needs a reset. Walter says, you think Disney will settle first at the end of the first fiscal year? 30 September. I don't think Disney is going to be the first to settle. I think Disney will be one of the last to settle, because they seem stubborn AF, and Bob Iger is very upset with how everyone's villainized him, so I think he's going to be very petty about it. Wanda says, Fod Freed watches Dylan start a talk show. What are you guys talking about? Eve O'Connor says, why are the studios unionized? That's a great question. All of these unions were formed like decades and decades ago. I think all the studios are formed together because they all have the same goals, essentially, in the sense that they all want to produce and distribute movies, and they all have to work with the same people. So it makes sense that they're unionized. But it does kind of suck for everyone else. Okay, Yukimi says burn so we can rise from the ashes. Okay, you guys are all just saying burn. Burn, baby, burn. Okay. Yeah, Hollywood agrees. Hollywood needs a new era for sure. Honestly, I think the audience, like the general public, we kind of have some of the power to make that happen by voting on what we choose to see at the movies. By saying, yes, we like movies like Barbie and Oppenheimer, that means we might get more movies like Barbie and Oppenheimer. Now, granted, Hollywood doesn't always learn the right lessons. It sounds like we're about to get up to million toy movies, but at least someone is going to learn the right lesson, and then that movie might do well. And then maybe eventually Hollywood will get it. And then that's how we can turn the ship around. Maybe. Is that too idealistic? MM says, it's sad what they're doing to Disney, Cartoon Network, and ABC had great shows for kids, and it seems studios cared about uniqueness. I'm honestly a little concerned about what's happening to all the kid content, because when I was growing up, all the kids, we watched Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. There was very clear, safe places to be to watch stuff as a kid. Now, because all of these linear channels are going away, all of the kids stuff is thrown next to hard R content you can find on streaming services. They're all just kind of on the same app now. And I think that is a little bit concerning for the youths growing up. I don't know. I feel like we need, especially there isn't even a lot of content being made specifically for the tween audience anymore. It's all either stuff for very young kids or for teens and adults. But there is an age gap in between that, for the tween audience, that there's not even stuff for them anymore. So they're forced to watch stuff that is way too mature for them. And I think that is a real problem. Okay. Oh, Jax, I'm glad you liked the show. The Brendan V says Taylor Swift is doing more to help theaters than studios are. I'm very curious to see how well that movie does. Like, I think that whatever audience shows up for that is going to be very interesting to break down, like the demographic breakdown of like who is a Taylor Swift fan, who is a big enough fan to actually go and see this show. Very curious to see how that movie does. Yeah, and growing up, we had amazing shows, right? It so sucks. Little Boozy Bert says, LOL, I grew up on some rough stuff, so no comment. Okay. Jal Pedro says, I'm more concerned for kids on YouTube and TikTok. This is creepy. Oh, I know. Kids, the thing is, though, you always see in the news about how, like, parents are worried their kids are going to see certain books in libraries, and I'm like, do you understand your kids are not going to libraries to look at books? They're going online and seeing all sorts of stuff. Why are you talking about the libraries when you should be looking at what your kid is looking at on the phone? But anyway, that's a whole separate discussion. Stephanie Williams says, my nephew loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That movie wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was okay. I gave it a solid 7. Not too bad. But anyway, I do want to get to the members section. Because I know I did ask my members what you guys thought about this. What is going on? Kana says that might be because streaming, YouTube, and gaming is eating into the traditional kid show market. Oh yeah, I mean, kids are watching YouTube more than they're watching, like, linear TV for sure. So, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to get to the next topic. What the heck is going on? Sorry guys, like I said, I have some issue on my end. Oh god. This is not a flattering photo of her. Sorry, I just found this from the internet because it was already made. I didn't make this graphic. I'm not trying to set poor Drew Barrymore up. But yeah. I did ask my members what you guys thought about this. What? Why can I not click on this? Hold on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry, having issues. Anyway, I asked you guys, do you think this is scabbing even if she doesn't use writers? So I'm curious to see what you guys said. Cheetah Viper, thank you so much for being a member, says, if she could help the writers and actors tell their stories, it could be a good thing. I also see why people are getting upset. The thing is, though, she won't even be able to talk about struck content, which just means anything that studios have made. So, who is she even going to be able to get to go on this show? Because any guest she goes on this show is also going to be judged. So she's going to have a hard time getting guests on this show, and there's not going to be a lot of stuff that she is going to be allowed to talk about. So she's probably, again, like, she's probably going to have to lean more into talking about reality content and pop culture stuff over film and entertainment news, because she can't really do that. Liv Harris, thank you so much for being a member, says, I don't fault her for it, but I could see how others would. Hopefully she isn't getting too much hate. She has to know the chance she was taking, so it must have been worth it for her. Oh, I'm sure she definitely knew that there's going to be outrage and backlash, and there already is. Like, there are writers picketing in front of her studio just today, so people are very upset. And I'm sure she knew. I'm sure she anticipated it. I'm sure. I know you guys are laughing at the photo. Sorry. Shelly Lee says, wow, I cannot believe that Drew is almost 50 now. If she does not use writers or actors on her show, then it's okay. Okay, so you think as long as she doesn't, technically break the rules, then it's fine. I think that's where I'm at. That's why I'm thinking we need to see what she does with the show before we completely condemn her. Rachel Reed's Romance says, if she truly doesn't break the rules, then I don't see a problem with it. But I am skeptical. She is capable of doing this job without writers. It's not like she is known for writing, and she doesn't have experience with improv like the typical comedians that usually have this job. That's why I'm wondering what she's going to do. She's going to have to do some sort of... It's going to have to be like The View, where it's just going to be a conversation. That's the only way I can think she can do this and not, get in trouble. I'm Kai says, I like Drew, but I didn't tune into her show really. It seems awkward whenever I checked it out. Yeah, every clip I see from the show is super awkward. Despite this, the show has a large following and helps people. So if she's working around the strike while supporting it, then rock on. Maybe she's doing this just to support her production crew, if that's true. I mean, there could be a number of reasons she's doing this. Who knows, but I'm sure the people who are working on her show are going to be thankful to have their jobs back. Jordan Davis says, I don't know what this is or who she is, but she's definitely beating around the bush with this trick. Plus, I don't think no one will even watch or be engaged with no professional writers or no good marketing. I don't know. Will it be engaging with no writers? I think it'd be kind of damning to the writers she did have if, suddenly her show grew in popularity or ratings without them. That'd be kind of awkward on their end. Oh, dang, she kind of flourished without us. That'd be kind of awkward if I was them. Nicholas Wilson says, if you have to play technicalities like that just to justify what you're doing, you're a SCAB. She's being disloyal to others in her industry, but on the other side, with wages and contracts at stake, she may not have much choice. The only other thing to think about this is the possibility of using her show to advocate for the strikers. That's a good idea. If she actually went on the show and talked about the strikes often and why she was doing the show despite the strikes going on, she actually used her voice to talk about what was going on, I actually could see that turning things around in her favor. That's a good idea, Nicholas. Very good idea. And then Mickey, thank you for being a member, says, I don't think it's a problem. I don't know why so many people are getting so mad. Yeah, people get mad on the internet. Again, it probably could just be a handful of people on Twitter that are upset. We never really know. But we'll see. We'll see. I think this is a developing story, so I'll update you guys when we have more information. Little Boozy Bert says, is Drew's show supposed to be funny, dramatic, realistic, therapeutic? What is it? I don't know. It's just kind of cringe. Every clip I see from it, it's just she's up in the person's face, being so deeply, emotional, she's trying to lift them up, she's trying to be, I guess, their therapist in a way, but it does come across as a little, I don't know, every clip is just so weird and cringy. Anyway, moving on, I have one bit of WTF news, and that's the end of the strike for today. Thank you everyone who's watched so far, this has been a fun stream. So the WTF news, oh my God, y'all, listen to this. So have you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of parasocial relationships, right? Parasocial relationships are a one-sided relationship that a person can have either with a celebrity or a fictional character. And Timothy Chalamet's fans have just not been handling the fact that he is dating Kylie Jenner. They're losing it. They're losing it. So much so that NBC News actually wanted to interview one of Timothy Chalamet's biggest fans because they wrote a very distressing message about how upset and stressed they were over the video of Kylie and Timothy at Beyonce's concert. Listen to this. What the heck? Okay, I don't know why. But the Timothy Chalamet fan talking about that video says, if you're feeling distressed by the video, it's okay. Please take care of yourself. Step away from the social media for a couple of days, says Club Chalamet. Oh my God. Apparently this person may have been stalking them. Yeah, so apparently this person had such a conniption, such a fit on the internet that they're having like they're having reporters wanting to interview them, and I just had to share that because I'm just like, wow. And as this person put it, if I were Club Chalamet, I just disappear off the face of the earth. Like, how can you not be embarrassed by this? Anyway, I had to share this. People are pretty crazy out there. Oh yeah, and the wine flood. I forgot. That should have been the WTF news. Yes, in Portugal, I believe it was. There was a town where there was there was an accident at a wine factory, and like there was literally like a river of wine flooded out. That's true. Oh, can I find that? Can I find that wine river? You know what? I'm not going to look up anything on Twitter because Lord knows what you'll find. But yes, you should look it up. Wine river. It's very interesting. But anyway, I had to show you guys that because I know you guys like the WTF news. But that's the show for today. This was really fun. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Since we already are well over time, I'm only going to do like 2 questions. That'll be the end of the stream. Then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. And we'll talk more entertainment news. So any questions? Any comments? I'm just going to take like 2 of them, and that'll be it. Yeah, some people are very weird. Yeah, look at the wine river. Hold on. I want to see if I can find this wine river. Because it was pretty funny. Let's see. Wine river. Okay, I found it. It was the first one. Going back then. Look at this, y'all. This is crazy. All of that is red wine from this factory. 2.2 million liters just burst. Now there's a river of wine going down this entire village. Pretty crazy. Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot to share with you. Yes, this is perfect WTF news. Anyway, I'll take one more question and that'll be it. Oh, Sexy Rhino. There was some sort of interesting stuff from D23, not anything huge. There was a lot of, like, park stuff we could talk about. Maybe I'll bring up the D23 news, tomorrow. There just wasn't really a lot to talk about there, to be honest. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Alright, everyone, that'll be it for today. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Please make sure to also like the video because it really does help the channel and help spread the show to more people. And that'll be it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.